Let me ask you a question. Think about your company's most valuable assets. The ones you've invested millions in. Are they actually doing what you planned for them to do? It sounds simple, right? But the answer is usually hidden. Well, today, we're going to uncover that answer using a really powerful metric called utilization time.
So let's start right here, right now. Just picture your company's most critical equipment. Maybe it's a manufacturing line, a fleet of trucks, whatever. At this very second, what are they really doing?
Okay, some are running, obviously. Some are probably down for maintenance. That's easy to track. But what about that third group? The assets that are perfectly fine, they're ready to go, but they're just sitting there, waiting. This planned idle time is a huge blind spot, and it's exactly what utilization time is built to shine a light on.
All right, so let's get specific. What exactly is this metric? At its core, it's not about what your assets are doing. It's about what you intended for them to do. It's all about measuring your planned potential.
The definition itself is super simple. It's the percentage of time an asset is scheduled to run. And I gotta tell you, that word, scheduled, that's everything. This isn't about whether a machine could have been running. It's about whether you planned for it to run in the first place.
And this is where people get tripped up all the time, so it's a really critical distinction. We are not talking about availability or uptime. See, availability asks, hey, did the machine work when we needed it? That's reactive. Utilization is proactive. It asks, what was our intention for this machine to begin with? It's a measure of your strategy, not just your performance.
So, how do we actually figure this out? Well, the formula is surprisingly straightforward. Let's break down how to measure your planned capacity in just a few simple steps.
Everything starts with one big, unchanging number, 8,760. That's how many hours are in a year. This is our foundation, our total potential time. It's the absolute maximum amount of time any asset could possibly be running.
So the formula is just 4 easy steps. You start with that total, 8,760 hours. From that, you subtract all the planned idle time. All those hours you never even intended for the machine to run. Then, you divide that new number by the total time, multiply by 100, and bam, there you have it. That's your utilization time.
So what does this look like in the real world? Well, if you get a score of 80% utilization time, that doesn't mean your machine was broken 20% of the time. Nope. It means that for 1/5 of the entire year, it was intentionally scheduled to be idle. There was just no plan for it to be running.
But so what? Why does this number even matter? Well, because this simple percentage is an incredibly powerful tool. It's not just some number for a report. It's about turning raw data into actual strategic business decisions.
And you might be surprised who's looking at this number. Up at the corporate level, they're using it for high-level capacity planning. Down on the plant floor, it helps them understand daily potential. And for the engineering teams, it's a huge signal for asset performance and its entire life cycle.
But you know what? No matter who's looking at it, the goal is always the same. It all comes back to that one big question. Are we squeezing every last drop of value from the expensive assets we own?
It's also really important to understand that utilization time doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's actually the foundation of a much bigger framework called TEEP, that's Total Effective Equipment Performance. So think of it as the first absolutely essential piece of the puzzle for understanding your equipment's true potential.
But hold on, before you rush off to calculate this for every single machine you own, we need a little dose of reality. Because the number itself, well, that's only half the story. The context behind that number is what really matters.
Because think about it, your utilization time is massively influenced by things that have nothing to do with the machine itself. Is there enough market demand to even justify running it 24/7? Do you have the raw materials to feed it? Do you have the trained staff to operate it? All of these external realities directly shape your score.
And this, of course, leads to the one question everybody wants to know. What number should we be shooting for? What does best-in-class look like? Is it 80%, 90%? Is it 100%? And the answer is pretty surprising. There isn't one. The experts over at the Society for Maintenance and Reliability Professionals, these are the folks who live and breathe this stuff. They went looking for a universal benchmark, and you know what? They came up empty. There is no single good score. This right here is the most important takeaway. The goal is not to chase a high score or hit some magic number. In fact, for a company that's all about just-in-time production, a lower utilization might actually be a sign of success. It means they're not making costly overproduction. The real goal is to use this for an honest look in the mirror at your true capacity, given the unique realities of your business.
So if you take one thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. Utilization time is not a report card, it's not giving you a grade, it's a mirror. It simply reflects the reality of your planned potential, and it forces you to ask one simple question: why?
And that why is the question I really want to leave you with. Your idle time isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It's a narrative. It's telling a story about your market demand, maybe your supply chain, or your labor strategies. So what story is your idle time telling you?